Well, those are things that are being discussed, Larry. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into football scheduling. You know, take what's in the best interest of your football team, obviously your fans, the entire program. And, you know, the way I try to work things around here, I like to get a lot of input from a lot of different people and then make decisions. So that's what in the process we're doing right now. Okay?
Jeremy, what are the downsides to canceling the game?
Now you are asking me to speculate on some decision that hasn't been made yet, and you and I have discussed that before, Mark. We're not going to speculate on speculation. Okay? So when we have those answers, we'll discuss it. And wherever we end up, I'm sure there'll be a million questions that'll be asked about where we end up. So just let us end up where we're going to end up, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Why did the terminology get changed from terminated to postponed?
Really, that was the league. I mean, there's something in the rule book. I'll be honest with you, Saturday night, those things we didn't really understand all that ourselves. We're dealing with something that's never happened before. You got a lot of different people involved in the conversation, you know, trying to talk with people back in Birmingham, and it has nothing to do, the league wanted to make sure that you all had the correct terminology. It's not we were trying to couch sing a certain way or trying to give any sort of hidden meaning. That's the rule, and so we wanted to make sure that whatever in the release was the rule. Okay?
How much money would reimbursing a game cost the university?
Trying to figure out all that stuff right now. Again, when we come forward with whatever decision we come forward with, we're going to have answers to everything financially, you know, dates, tickets, reasons, all those type of things. We're just not there yet.
Is game
Mark,
postponement?
this was one more.
Oh, sorry. And game canceling, is that in the contract? That stuff in that kind of any kind of contract?
I have not even looked at the Idaho contract this morning. We're just trying to figure out some other things. Again, we'll answer those questions when we get to them.
Edgar, we'll wrap it up with Edgar.
Did you pay Idaho the guarantee out or part of it?
No, all of our guarantees are due our opponents February 1st of the following season. So that's when we pay Georgia. That's when we'll pay every team that comes in here. So that's standard language in our contract. Okay?
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Well, that's not that hard. Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy. You had to deal with Mr. Speculation down here. He likes to speculate a lot. We went ahead and practiced this morning to go ahead and get it in. We felt like, since we hadn't really worked since Thursday, to go ahead and practice. We started as a team and watched all the plays from Saturday night. It took a long time. But Jared Davis got the Hard Hat Award. He did. He made a great block on the kickoff return. It's an outstanding job by Marcel Harris, sealing the edge, Valdez bouncing it. Andre put a devastating block on their kicker, and we were able to get the ball down the sideline. So very, very well executed. We're extremely disappointed we didn't get to play as a team, as a fan base. There's no question we're all frustrated with that. The anticipation for the game was huge from a standpoint of, you go through Gator Walk and the fever pitch was high, and the stadium when we came out for pregame was electric, and then we had a 2.5-hour delay. You come back out, it's unbelievable. The fans that were there and as loud as it was, and it excited our guys, and we can't thank our fans enough. It was absolutely amazing. The people that were there, and there was still a bunch there, and it was loud and it was electric and it was fun, and we got to do it again at 4 o'clock on Saturday for Eastern Michigan. So put things in perspective a little bit for everyone. Between the hours of 5 o'clock that afternoon and 11, we had 1,100 strikes of lightning within a 6 to 8 mile radius of our stadium. We had 2.5 inches of rain between 5 and 11 o'clock, and the last strike of lightning within 6 miles of the stadium was at 12:38. So it was an issue of not just the playing condition of the field, which was awful, but we had lightning all over the place, and it was going to be very difficult to be able to get the game in. And then when you get in the situation of once the game that goes to the referee's decision, and the right decision was made, because at the end of the day it comes down to the welfare of the student athlete, and that was not a playing condition issue, was not what it needed to be. And the lightning was everywhere, and the game it is what it is. Never been a part of anything like it, but that's what happened. And again, we're all disappointed. Some people are upset, and I certainly understand that. But at the end of the day, it comes back to the welfare of the student athlete. That's the most important thing. We did have Darius Cummings and Janard Bostic suspended for the first game for a violation of team rules. They will be back this week with us. They've not just as far as a suspension of a game, but they've handled a lot of other things for me, as well as DeMarcus Robinson, who had a university sanction that's been resolved. Thomas, you asked me last week if he had handled all of his business from the year before, and he had it. This is a totally separate issue. So moving forward, having those three guys back, injury-wise, Marcus may practice today. He's probably 80-85%. We'll see how he continues to progress through the week. Got Eastern Michigan coming in. They won Saturday night. Chris Creighton's their new head coach from Drake. He did an outstanding job there. They got 17 starters back. They hired Kalen DeBoer from Southern Illinois as an offensive coordinator. They've had 86 snaps Saturday night. A lot of tempo on the ball. They're a run and play action team. Tyree Russell's a tight end's an outstanding player. He's a vertical threat down the field. He's a good blocker. He does a lot of nice things defensively. They're an odd structure, a little, under quarters team. Special teams are very aggressive, blocked a punt for a touchdown Saturday night and blocked a field goal. So we got our work cut out for us again. It'd be our first game. They say you make the most improvement of game 1 to game 2. We're still in game 1. So we've been through pregame and all that other jazz, so we're ready to go as far as that's concerned. So we're ready to get rolling Saturday afternoon, that's for sure, and I open it up for any questions.
Edgar in the middle.
Yeah, well, in all your playing days, coaching days, what's the closest situation you've gone through where you sat around for, 3.5 some hours to play one 10-second play?
Nowhere close, but in 03 at LSU, we opened the year with Monroe, and we were on the field for maybe 7 or 8 plays. We were back off for, I want to say it was an hour and a half, and we came back and finished the game. So that was the only thing that would even be remotely close to the situation.
And what was it kind of the locker room atmosphere? I mean,
It was electric. The guys were jacked. I mean, we deal with this a lot, especially this time of year, practice-wise. So when our guys understand to shut it down, let's get it back going again. I mean, that's what we do. That's not a big deal to our staff or our coaches or our players.
Pat to the right.
Well, you talked about this team you liked a lot, but you wanted to see how they handle adversity. Is this qualify as adversity for them? And also the fact that you've had that carrot out there all through camp opening day, and they didn't get to enjoy it. Is there any concerns there?
Not really. I think, again, we deal with this a good bit of this time of the year, so it's not a huge issue to us as a team. I mean, it's kind of when we blow the horn and they know we're going in, there's not a looking around of what are we doing. They understand the issue. But I wouldn't classify this as an adversity. That's something we're going to face during the season.
Robbie.
Will, how did the players and coaches pass the time during the delay? What was going on?
When you don't know when you're coming back, you don't want to get back and stale your players and continue. We felt like as we were watching, I watched the radar a lot. And so we're watching the radar. We're figuring when it's pushing through. The issue we had, it got right over us and stopped for a long time. So we were never able to really, when there was times we thought we were going back, I had the coaches back in positionally, go over, reminders about the game plan, get their minds back on it, back focused. We felt like our guys were extremely focused the entire time. Wrestles to the point at the end there, 10:30 after being on the field once and coming back off. But, again, I felt we handled the situation very well, very maturely.
And how did the players react when they found out they weren't going to be able to play?
Very disappointed. I mean, they're upset, and just you put in a lot of work, and there's a lot of build-up for your opening kickoff, and certainly a lot of disappointment and frustration. But I told them we got to tee it up again this Saturday. That's what's part of the deal.
Coach, did you implement a new dress code for the team for Gator Walk, and kind of what went into that? And
Well, we always say it's a business trip. You don't wear warm-ups to a business meeting, do you? So we're going to dress a little nicer, try to at least.
And did you see a change in attitude just from the fans there at Gator Walk, how the team
Oh, that
was
was great.
received?
That was great. I mean, I think our fans have always been great, though. We got to give them something to be great about. That's on us. So, and I think this team will.
Given the number of injuries this team went through last year, how much of that entered your head Saturday night with the field conditions?
Well, certainly it's always in the back of your mind, but regardless of what happened the previous year, when our grounds people and were talking to the head referee, and they just didn't feel like it was safe for the student athlete. I mean, when you hear things like that and you talk in terms of as damp, as drenched as the field was on the one kickoff that we all saw, and if you see the replay of it and you see water going everywhere, All right, then let's think about 60 to 65, 80 scrimmage snaps, what it's going to look like, and the type footing you're going to have. It just wasn't a safe environment for our players, and that's our job as administrators and coaches. We're going to do what's best for the student athlete.
And a speculative question for you, but
Now,
if,
you're always,
if the
well,
game
how many
was,
how many does he get a press conference? He's exceeded. You're over, but go ahead.
if the game gets rescheduled, would the suspended guys still be suspended for that game?
I can't even answer that question, number one, and we don't know the situation of the game right now. So, Mr. Speculation, I'm going to speculate that you've asked too many questions in this meeting. If you don't speculate, you can't even ask a question. I mean, Woodward and Bernstein here, just cracking the code. What you got?
Will, I guess the official reason for suspending the game was unsafe field conditions. How much input?
Well, no, there was also lightning all through the area. We weren't going to be able to get back on the field, and if we were, you had another lightning strike at 12:30. So what are we going to do?
I mean, did you get input from the players after that, from the kickoff squad after they suspended it after that kickoff? Did they say anything about how it could have been dangerous?
Our players?
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, obviously, just to look at the field, I didn't need any input about the condition of the field. Before we went out for it, I was concerned about the condition of the field. And then when we came back off, it opened up again. So even more rain was on the field after we had gone through, and our grounds people went and checked the field, and they didn't feel like it was safe. But the lighting was the other issue. It wasn't just one thing.
Is it true that the game could have been restarted before midnight? If you guys were to restart it, it could have started before midnight? And
I believe there's an SEC rule, but I'm not positive. I can't comment on all the rules. They had a book that thick they were reading through, and I just was watching the radar.
But there were lightning strikes after that, so
There
no
was
matter
lightning
what.
strikes at 12:38 was the next one that happened after, I think it was 11:28 or 11:30. So we'd probably gotten an hour in and probably would have been off the field again. So
Jeff, over to the right.
Well, there's been speculation about the bye week before the Georgia game, and this is not a speculative question, but could you talk about what it means to you to have that bye week and your thoughts?
well, I
on
think
keeping
both teams have a bye week, so it's important for both teams. But again, I can't really, other than having an opportunity to prepare a little extra for an Eastern Division opponent, nothing more than that. Did he type you and send you that question?
It was done. It was done. Also, there's been a lot of criticism, or some criticism at least, of the students in terms of attendance. Did it mean
It
something?
wasn't Saturday night, and you ain't heard it from me.
Did
It
it
was
mean
unbelievable. It was great.
What did it mean to you to see them
That was
stick
awesome.
around for 3 hours?
Absolutely. I mean, they look like they were having fun, and we needed to go put a good product on the field for them. That's what we need to do, and I told our football team that this morning.
Pat, over to the right.
Well, when you guys came out to finally play, it looked like a team that was caged animals. I mean, they were excited to be out there. Do you think that's what we're going to see Saturday? This team has had to wait longer than normal?
Pat, these guys have been pretty mature in their approach to everything they've done. They've done everything we've asked them to do. They don't complain. They work hard. They work well together. They enjoy being around each other. They have fun playing together. We haven't played a game yet, so it's hard to sit there and talk in terms of when you have faced some adverse situations, which we're going to face, whether it's Saturday or on down the road, it's going to happen. So, again, all the signs are very positive for me, and you feel good about where we are and the leadership we have.
Practice today was normal, wasn't it?
Well, they thought we were going this afternoon, and we sent them a message we were going to go this morning. So, but they came in there, everybody was here and ready to go.
Jesse in the middle.
Kind of a follow-up on Jeff's question there. With the October 25th date, if you guys don't have a bye week that week, you play 9 straight games, is that potentially concerning?
I haven't even really thought about it because I'm going to control the controllables. And right now, I have zero control of that situation. And once I'm told whatever we're going to do, we're going to go after it full speed.
Do you have a preference either way?
I don't have a preference. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, and that's help coach and develop this football team. And that's really, Jesse, all I can do right now.
Mark up front.
Absolutely not speculative. Just out of curiosity, what was the first play call going to be?
First play call.
Yeah, we saw it lined up for 35 seconds
We're
or
going to
whatever.
run the one back power to the tight end side.
Bread and
then
butter.
We had a quick game off of it if they loaded the box. We'll change it for Saturday.
Same formation.
I know starting lineups, you said, are for kids, parents, media, whatever.
And
But
you.
why Matt Jones over Calvin?
Those guys are both going to play. I mean, they both have done a nice job, and at the end of the day, they're going to get a bunch of carries, and we got great confidence in both players. And in the package we were in, we had one back, and there are going to be some packages with two backs, and both of those guys will be involved. And it'll be a week-to-week deal. Really, who prepares and practices the right way, which they both do, so it's going to be a hard decision every week.
Like you said, teams make the most progression from the first game to the second game. With the new offense, Kurt Roper said a few weeks ago he felt like they could go out there and play a game then.
Sure.
Do you feel like missing that game, just an opportunity to play last Saturday, is going to hurt the offense at all?
You'd like to be, getting live bullets. I mean, there's no question that's important. Young players, how are they going to respond? We're going to have some young players on that side of the ball. How is our secondary going to respond? There's going to be some angst moments with some young players in some tough situations. So you don't ever really answer some of those questions until you get in front of 90,000 people, until you get in front of the band. I mean, all of the things that create anxiety. You don't know how some of these young players are going to respond. Some young guys up front on both sides of the ball. But as far as functioning as, our top, 15, 18 on offense, I feel very comfortable where we are. The young players that are going to be contributing, I think, are more than ready. I think C.J. Wharton's a very mature young man. I think Brandon Powell's a very mature young man. I think Treon Harris is certainly ready for the opportunity. I think Will Greer would be ready for the opportunity. And I think David Sharp's going to be a really good football player. So as far as the young players playing on that side of the ball, I got a lot of confidence in those guys. Because, again, y'all have heard me say it a bunch of times, playing as a freshman has to do with maturity as much as it has to do with ability. And all those guys are mature young men.
And then you said the offense was farther along in the spring than you thought in training camp as well. Do you think that helps too?
I think we're where we need to be as far as, right now. I think there's not as many question marks maybe as I thought for me going into the season as I thought there would be positionally. Schematically, I think we have answers for a lot of different things. So I feel very comfortable with where we are. Again, we haven't done it, against an opponent yet, and we got to see how that goes.
Coach, you said you wanted to keep the backup quarterback role kind of open with the game not happening last Saturday. Is that still open this week, or is it?
Sure. I mean, right now, if we were to play tomorrow, Treon would be the backup. But today, both Will and Skylar got reps at practice with our first offense. So we'll evaluate the tape from today and move to the next day and continue to do that through the season. I think it's important for those guys to stay game ready.
Time for a couple final questions. Thomas, Richard,
Just
Jesse?
out of curiosity, did you watch any of the South Carolina or Tennessee games?
Not Tennessee, but I did watch South Carolina a little bit on Thursday night.
Just any thoughts on that game?
Well, I mean, again, I thought both, offenses moved the ball. There's a lot of big plays involved. The young quarterback at Texas A&M played extremely well on the road. Tough place to go play. They looked really skilled throwing the football. They looked really good up front offensively. So I know, Steve and them got some young guys on defense that got to keep coming along. So, it's a long season. It's amazing. In one week, everyone's ready to announce the top four and just cancel the season and go to the playoff. But we got a lot of ball to play. What happened to your thumb?
So he says.
Basketball injury, right? You weren't on the injury report, so upper limb injury. I got you. Oh, yeah, you go. Yeah.
Did you have them ready for that Poochie kind of kick, whatever Idaho did? And
Yeah, we do. I mean, just with Andre back, you've got to be ready for all alternative kicks, squibs, skies. I mean, I tell Coleman all the time I wouldn't kick to him. I'd kick away from the guy and make somebody else beat you. So, but no, I think that we got to prepare for those each week. Surprise onside. I mean, all of those things, what I would call alternative kicks, we got to be prepared for.
I'll wrap it up with Jesse.
Has the punter situation been settled?
Yeah, Kyle he'll be the punter. Kyle Christie will be the punter. And then Johnny, again, I even told our team Thursday and talked to them about, everybody's role within the organization. You don't have to really like your role, but you need to embrace it. And if you don't like it, do something about it. And I asked our team, I said, look at Kyle and Johnny. You make that decision because they're both really good players. and there's only one punter. It's not like another position where you can contribute on a coverage unit or a return unit. And I think some of our players, talk about the running back position, some of the competition there, the receiver position, the linebacker position. If we're going to be in nickel, only 2 guys are going to start. I mean, so there's a lot of tough decisions we make, and we make them for a reason and what's best for the organization. And we feel like Kyle was a little more consistent, but certainly Johnny is more than capable. All righty, thank you.
At least
All right.
another student athlete coming in here for interviews.
Valdez Showers will be here.
Valdez is the only guy to touch the ball. Do you think you could have played on that field? Do you think it would have been safe?
To be honest with you, I mean, it was pretty slippery, but I'm from up north, so I played in all type of weather, a lot of snow. So, I mean, I was ready to play the game regardless.
A lot of the older guys, a lot of the older reporters were saying how 20, 30 years ago, that game would have been played. So, I mean, were you, I mean, obviously all the players were kind of excited to get the season started, but,
yeah.
I mean, were all the players saying, hey, let's go?
I mean, to be honest with you, we wasn't thinking too much about the field or the conditions, anything. I mean, we were just ready to play the first game. We've been working hard for all off-season, spring, summer. We were just ready to play the first game.
Yeah, can you just talk about, I mean, having to wait another week? Are you guys going to be just really chomping at the bit, obviously, on Saturday afternoon to get out there and finally play a game? I mean, you're excited about it as it was.
Yeah.
Now you had to wait another whole week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, missing the first game, I mean, a lot of us was bummed about it, so we definitely looking forward to the second game and really trying to get all the nerves and all the, hard work up out of us and go out there and perform.
Just after 3 hours of waiting, just what's going through your head after you make that big return?
To be honest with you, I wasn't thinking too much about it, but I mean, the wait was definitely killing us. We was definitely in there, very eager to get out there.
And just what's the reaction when offense hits the field and then referees call it off? Just what's going through your head?
Not again. Yeah, we was definitely. I didn't think they was gonna call it, but once I seen them hold the offense, I knew it was probably gonna get canceled.
Was there any surprise at seeing how many fans there were still after 3 hours, and would that make you feel like?
Oh, definitely. That, to me, that was really the highlight of the night. When we came out the tunnel again, I seen all the fans there. It really shocked me, and that was really, like, I know I could speak for the team with that. That surprised us a lot, and we was definitely like thankful that they were out there supporting us.
Walk us through what you did in the locker room on the first delay. You listening to music? What are you doing in there?
We started going over plays again, making sure that we was still focused in on the game and not getting too much sidetracked. But yeah, we was going over plays, just trying to keep each other in the groove still.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on being on pace to shatter the school's kickoff return average record?
I don't put too much thought in those things. I just try to take advantage of opportunities. So
I'm kind of just messing with you, but would you be disappointed as a team, a player, you think, if this game's never played? I mean, do you want to get the game in?
Be honest with you, I just kind of focus on who we got up each week, and I can't really think too much about anything like that. I just let the Foley and Coach Muschamp handle stuff like that. But I mean, if we play them, we play them. I'm always going to be ready.
Yeah, it might not even count. That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. Okay.
Your kickoff return.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I knew it didn't count.
If the field was better, would you have cut back there and beat that guy?
If the field was better, I was definitely looking to cut back, but I knew that it was a chance that I'll slip, so I was just trying to get as much yard as I could.
Hey, at any point, did it cross your mind to possibly pitch the ball back to DeBose?
Nah, I don't think it's too much stuff like that. I mean, nah, I wasn't thinking of nothing like that.
From a player's perspective, how important is a bye week, especially before a game like Georgia?
Well, it's a long season, and to be honest with you, a lot of players take advantage of those bye weeks. You know, try to really get in the treatment room and treat it up for that off week. But we definitely look forward to those bye weeks.
You know, if this game is rescheduled, possibly that week before Georgia, that would be it. That would be 9 straight games.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes a toll on a player, right?
Definitely. But I mean, if they on the schedule and we got them booked in, we got to line it up. So, I mean, however it go, if it's scheduled to play, we're going to play it.
Valdez, you're from Michigan, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you played in some really
played.
really bad weather. What's the worst you ever played in, and was it worse than this?
I'd probably say it was a playoff game, probably late November, and it was probably like 6 degrees outside, and it was snowing, and it was also ice out there too, so it was pretty bad.
The field like complete.
Yeah,
what was the playing conditions like on the field? Snow or mud or everything?
It was like everything. Like, and you didn't really want to hit the ground because it was so cold that you ain't want to get back up. So
this was like nothing to you.
Yeah, I didn't think too much about the rain. I just knew I couldn't make any sharp cuts or anything. I'd slip.
Coach Muschamp said if he was the other team, he wouldn't kick the ball to Andre DeBose, and that you guys are ready for teams to kick away from him. Were you ready for that little pooch punt they did to start the game?
Yeah, we was planning it all week. We knew that they didn't want to kick the DeBose just because he break the record or anything. It's his history with it and everything. So we was kind of anticipating the sky kick, and we've been practicing it all week. All right, no problem.